share with you how did I came into this job, because I think this is the best example of how do we learn. No? So when I joined the organization in Mexico, I was handling marketing on a regional level, but I felt that this was already a little bit dry for me. I really needed to have a broader scope of knowledge. So I got an opportunity to join as GM of a new venture within Behringer, and the person that hired me was a very eccentric Dutchman. So he used to wear boots to go to work, blue jeans. He used to curse a lot in the workplace, but he had a big heart and a really, really impressive intellect. So I decided to make the bold move to go and work for him. This person, after 3 months in the job, he tells me, Eric, I have some news for you. So I know you decided to take the risk of moving to Behringer, and I'm leaving. And I said, well, this is a little bit difficult now. And he told me the good news that he was leaving to be global president of marketing and sales into Germany. So I was a little bit lucky there, because obviously I got exposed to the right person at the right moment. And then he liked my work, and then I went to Germany. I was able to broaden my scope of interactions and to build my network in the headquarters. But one of the things that I really think that really stood after me is that this guy was not into the process, but he was fully committed to talent development. When you showed him a form of talent management, he immediately got irritated and cursed. But one thing is that he made sure that he was always looking after talent and really giving the people the chance. So I think that's one very important learning, that sometimes a leader committed to talent development goes really a longer way than somehow the most sophisticated processes. So actually that's my learning number one. The talent management processes and systems should never replace leadership commitment for development. I think a leader that is determined to push the people and to really give people chances can make a huge impact. An interesting anecdote: whenever I speak to other colleagues in country management, and we discuss talent management, we always start the dialogue. Have you implemented this new process, this new system? And everyone starts to get very proud of the achievements. But then you end up with the ultimate question, which is, okay, so how many people have you promoted? And how many people have you truly developed into a better leader? And then the answers to these questions start to become a little bit shakier. Because I believe sometimes we fall in love too much with the process, and we end up forgetting that talent management is truly a behavioral component of leadership, and many people, I believe, forget about this. No? Now, many of you, well, all of you practically are HR practitioners, and the question is, what would I do if my leaders are not committed to talent management? And it's a difficult question, but I try to put a bullet to address that, which is, I would say we should expand the definition of what short-term is. So, being in a leadership position, you're really pressured to deliver results. So, people are expecting from you leadership, but you're concerned about results tomorrow, right? And I guess this duality of having this need to be pleasurable to everyone and to really be a good leader and set direction sometimes gets shaded because we're really concerned about delivering the numbers, right? So I think one practical idea I could suggest is just expand the definition of short-term. Maybe short-term shouldn't be 1 quarter. Maybe short-term should be 1 year, should be 18 months, right? And I think sometimes we need these little boys from HR telling us, hey, yes, that's true, the quarter is important, but think about it a little bit longer. What will we do after this? And managing through questions and asking the right coaching questions to the bosses, I think could be very effective. And the second point is these contingency plans. I think putting these scenarios of what could go wrong if the leader makes this or that decision, I think certainly it's a good reminder that sometimes we're not thinking of. So it's just a matter of doing the right questions to the leader when these moments of truth are really happening. That would be the one single recommendation I could give you. Learning number 2 is letting the dogs fly. Maybe this is not easily understood, but in my country we say that if you have a dog, the best way to teach the dog how to fly is you just throw the dog and and you let the dog fly. It might sound a little bit cruel, but it's true. No one is ready to take on the next position. No one. If we look into the CEOs of the global companies, all of them should have passed through many jobs before. But if we really compute the time on each position, there would not be, probably in 2 or 3 lifetimes, they would never get into becoming a CEO. So along the way, someone saw in them something, and they just decided to take a risk and say, as of X date, you will be the new HR director. And I know you will not be perfect. I know you will make mistakes, but we will capitalize on those mistakes and take it as learning opportunities. And to me, that's very important. So the learning is, in my perception, we have 3 imperatives: right people, right place, right time. If we're going to mess up one, let's make sure it's the time, and let's make sure it's preferably too early than too late. That's a personal belief I have. And the third point is also a common Mexican saying generated from the Spanish. When the Spanish conquered, were trying to conquer a new country, they certainly had this phrase that you need to burn the ships. So it's not that you came in and then you fought the locals, but you still had the ship to run away. So they came into the ports, and then they were here to stay, and they burned the ship. So probably that's the learning. I think we should support the leaders all the way and commit all the way through to make it happen. No? Remove organizational barriers and the hygiene factors. I think this is very important. We've had so many experiences of highly capable people joining the company, and they were reporting to the wrong boss, and they were starting to get frustrated because of wrong practices. And I think that's where the leadership intervention is critical. Once you have the right people, try to remove some barriers for them to make them successful. And a last reflection, I think this is certainly not an academic model, but I think it's just an illustration of a concept I want to share, which is a matrix in which we have a leader that implements the talent management process. Someone that when you tick the boxes, everything is ticked. You know, he did the talent management process, he did his quarterly reviews, everything was done, right? And here we have a leader that truly lives talent management and pushes for talent management. I have the conviction that this leader is the ideal, right? A leader that implements the process in a systematic, organized way and strongly believes on talent management. I also think that it's okay to have a leader that is committed to people development, and sometimes he's not using a sophisticated system. To be honest, sometimes we make things more complicated than what they should. So, to me, this is a very good talent manager. Someone that has a behavioral behind it. Now, which one is worst? A leader that does not implement the process and does not live talent management, or someone that lives the process but does not implement talent management? And the controversy that I have for you, and we can certainly discuss it during the Q&A, but I have the strong conviction that this one is worse than this one. Why? Because here you already know there's a problem. The disease already has a name, and once the disease has a name, the medicine is very easy to find, right? The problem here is that you don't know if there's a problem. Everything in the boxes seems ticked, and everything seems perfect, right? So this covers up the problem, gives us the impression that we're doing something which is therapeutic, you know? When you look, did I develop people? Yes, I did all of this. So that makes us feel good, but that is certainly not effective, hampers engagement of the people, and the most important thing is that it affects the credibility of the talent management process. So in other words, what I want to share with you, and this is to conclude my presentation, is talent management needs to come genuine, and we should commit resources and energy if we're going to do it. If we're not going to do it, it's better not to do it in a non-sincere way. So, this was my message. I hope you found some value, and certainly we will be open for any questions. Thank you very much.